Because I don't think, do you think we lack creativity? Because creativity is there in abundance.
Sometimes you must ask such questions.
Yes.
Because that's where the intelligence comes from when you answer it. Because unknown things are stupid things. Yeah, that's why it surprises us. Why such that
but once you know. Rules and regulation, yeah?
There's a rule here.
Okay, are we ready? Dogs.
Guys,
Brother. Sit. Brother. This is Brother. This is a blooper. Okay, guys. All right. Listen, right? In your opinion, do you think that we as, I don't want to say we as Zambians because that's the whole nation, but we as, those of us in the creative industry, remember, even though it's not an industry yet, but in the creative industry, do you think we lack creativity in the sense that we are too lazy, so to say, to be ourselves, to just say, I'm Zambian and this is my creative content as a Zambian, without being copycats?
I wish I had a notebook.
Yeah, I know. It's a trifle. You know what a trifle is? Yeah. Zip. Just.
First, I think I had this argument with someone where they were saying, why is it that Pakurapa, you want to rap like an American? Why don't you rap like a Zambian? And I asked them, what is Zambian rap? If I may ask. No, rapping in local languages. I said, isn't English a language spoken locally? You know, you are asking me this question in English. You know, you have asked me in English. I will express in the medium that is closest for me to express myself.
That's a Ben Shapiro answer.
Very smart. I just didn't say Yamaka.
Yeah. That's very smart.
You know, so that's the argument we had. No, but you should consider rapping more in the language that you speak. When I rap in my language, Balanseka. So let me express myself in the medium that is quickest to express myself, and that's English. It's not like I went through 12 years of school learning English for nothing. It must be utilized, isn't it? We live in a global community. So I must, if my aim is to not just speak to Zambians, but people in this global community, I must speak the language they will understand. You know, I'm not negating that speaking or rapping in my language is bad, or it will be frowned upon. It's very beautiful, and it's very commanding. But at the same time, my audience will just be here. I want my audience to not just be here. I want it also out there.
Global.
Yes, global. So you find that even when you do rap in English, they still say, no, but there's a difference between a Zambian rapper rapping in English and you sounding American. So I still don't understand that. But anyway, I think it contributes to why people think we lack in creativity, especially when the front runners lift a whole song and just put Zambian lyrics.
Can I ask this question? Have you heard Casper in your vest rap in English?
Yes.
And how does he sound?
Well,
Actually, now I'm trying to think.
Eh?
personally,
Hey.
no.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Not good. The way it is that you are talented in two. There is a local rapper, one that is able to rap in their local language, using those words, putting them together. Because you see, rhyming is difficult. It's an art.
Yeah.
So there are those that are able to rhyme in English and they will do a pretty good job, but they can't rhyme in local language. Just as there are those that will be able to do it, in the vernacular and can't do it in English. And you will hear it all the time. Even Makitu, even Slap D, even Shefi, I'm sorry, but they can't rap in English.
Yeah.
You will be able to pick the pronunciations up. So,
Wait. Again, no. With what he's saying, is there a standard to how English should be?
You should rap in English. Yes.
Yeah, English is
the standard. Listen, the standard is American because hip hop is not African.
No, it's clarified.
Yes.
We're looking at the global standard.
Yes. If
You
you
all
say
have
you're doing,
why I rap in English,
yes.
but over there in California, won't understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the sound is very different. That's why you have like Burna Boy. Yeah. Half of Burna Boy's lyrics are in his local language. I didn't get an Mtsungu, but it will sound.
Pidgin.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But it still sounds good because of the type of music. Rap doesn't work like that.
No.
Rap is the art of words. How you speak the words. So even like Chef, when you listen to Chef, Chef is an excellent artist when he's rapping in Bemba.
Yeah.
The way he puts it together, even when Achandana Kebanama guys, man, exceptional talent in Bemba. Even that guy, yes. Exceptional because that's the art. That's the art. You must understand the words and how to put them together for them to sound like music.
Okay, so now I have a question, right? We have Shefi who raps in Bemba, and then we had King Iles. King Iles rap from Chitonga. Irish folk we know native tongue in Chitonga.
Yeah.
So why have people failed to accept him and have completely gone to
Politics.
Yes. Now,
Politics.
it goes back to tribalism and
Politics.
all.
But then again, there was an episode. There was an episode of
Because how
a
come
show
they've
I
accepted
watched.
Simbi, but they haven't accepted King Iles?
That's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, but they're not
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. This question was answered recently. I was in my room. I was watching Zambezi Magic. It's a shame.
I'm the best. I'm dropping to my
Hey, Kylie, that's why I speak fast. So there I am, right? I'm laying there. I won't say how I was laying, but I'm laying there. I'm watching the TV, right? You are thinking too much. you are seeing things. So and then I see two of the most prominent rappers in Zambia. I mean, I don't even need to mention their names. Just by saying two of the most prominent. You know. So they were talking about Mandem with the long beard, and they said something. They said something very interesting that I went like, I'm not too close to the situation to know. I do know him personally. We lived in the same road. I didn't see what they say, but one of them went like, man started acting like he's gotten there, but he hadn't yet gotten there. They appreciated how much he had worked, but they felt like the little that he did in terms of working, he already felt like he's at their level. They felt, I don't know, they felt disrespected by that, in a nutshell. So from there, you can already tell that just from the way their conversation went, you can tell that it's a thing that, because if you hear them talk about it, it's probably talked about a lot. In the circles. And the thing about these circles is that a lot of people like to play gatekeeper. You know what I'm saying? But the rest of the conversation went more or less one of them encouraging the other to say, but no, at the end of the day, we need to pass the baton because we're growing older. It's very important for us to make it easier for the people coming up after us. And I commend them for having that conversation on TV. It's a great conversation to have, you know, but at the end of the day, it still shows you that it might not be them particularly, But in their circle, they're what we call gatekeepers. They'll just say, okay, all of us, let's not work with that one. And this type of blacklisting happens a whole lot in the creative industry as a whole.
Is
They'll
that
just
what
come and
holds
say,
us back creatively?
that's what holds us back. There is no unity amongst creatives themselves. I am a rapper, right? I'm a rapper poet, but I can tell you for a fact that there are camps across the board. I set for myself to say I can work with pretty much anyone, irregardless. If what you do is great and I want to contribute to greatness, we will work together. But there are people who, number one, if they feel like you're really good at what you do, they consider you a threat. And then there are those who borrow offense. Let's say you and I had a disagreement. You go and confide in said people. Said people say, that's how he is. It's not really how we are.
He still hasn't explained why.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
She's there.
She's getting it. The whole essence of having factions, right? In a nutshell, if I was to just speak plainly, the fact that we are not united is a contributing factor to why we don't have some form of front on an international scene. The fact that we don't have structures also comes back to the lack of unity. I'll give this example because I like giving examples. So there were this bunch of artists. When Airtel came into Zambia, they reached out to them and said, guys, want to work with you, Shanshani. So amongst this group of artists, one of them suggested that let all of us charge this much. And then everyone agreed to say, okay, we'll invoice this much. That person went back and said, I'm going to charge you slightly less, use me for the next period of time.
Wow.
That's how they got the gig when Airtel first came into Zambia. I don't know if it was Airtel or Zain, but once they did that, everyone else was blown out of the water. Have you seen it? And there's what in Creative Commons, there's what we call starving artists, huh? People who are hungrier than others, not hungry to improve. Just there's no food. There's no food in the fridge. Yeah, there are all those elements that come into play. So you find that there is a whole lot of that going on. And then now, when you come and try to dictate some form of value, you are blacklisted. Nobody gonna work with you. Nobody gonna side with you.
So you're saying it's the lack of unity
and lack of structure
us from being creative. But what about people like Sampa the Great? She's making it. She's making it. Her creative level is global. She's not just thinking Kabwata.
Yes. Now listen.
No. To some extent, it goes with the type of exposure she had.
Okay. Because she grew up outside of Zambia. Okay.
Yes, it's born and bred.
And let's keep it like
Yes.
It's interesting that you bring up Sampa the Great.
Do you have a picture with her?
Yes, I do. A very nice picture. It just, this is the first time I'm using this phrasing. It goes back to what she was saying. First time. First time. It goes back to what, she was saying about exposure. That the exposure that she's talking about is not her exposure, but it's the exposure of the place. That if you're going to be an artist in the UK and you are talented, definitely you're going to be an international artist. If you're going to be an artist in Australia and you're definitely talented, you're going to be a global artist because they have the resources and the capacity to push your business for it, because that's what we're talking about. It's a business. For them, they don't see that. It's not like that. It's like, that music is a product, and there are people that are serious about selling this particular product.
Can I throw something into the conversation?
Into a spot.
From Merengue in the Zambian music industry, a pioneer. Charlie Brown, right? Wrote on his social media and said, a lot of Zambian music makers are chasing a foreign sound that the people they are chasing aren't even making anymore. That's a one-on-one on how to always be the tail. Create your own sound. Where's your sense of adventure? Come into the game and push the sound forward. Don't be a passenger.
Don't be a passenger.
Don't be a... So
I'm a passenger, but being in Zambia.
Yes.
I'm a passenger, being in Zambia.
Yes.
That guy who did Karibadam, what's his name?
Bam Bam Chiki Bam.
No
No,
not that song.
which one?
He lifted another. Who's the guy, the Karibadam guy?
Who sang Karibadam? The one I just sang.
Oh, Mr. Nyopole.
Wills, yes. And then you got DeMarco. Let go.
Yes. And then he got there was a song he did with some other, I don't know, featuring somebody. He lifted that off Chance, guy in the UK.
Oh, chances.
Like not even a chance. Oh, for number two. Exactly, boy. No creativity whatsoever.
Word for word. Bar for bar.
The producer even has a signature Sogoro.
Oh.
You know, because Zambian.
Maybe you wanted to say this is the studio it was recorded from.
So there's a difference. We know there's a difference in paying homage to an artist. We know there's a difference in sampling.
Yeah.
And we know there is skidding, which we are now calling gifting.
No, and I think this is why we get away with a lot of these things. Why our industry is
Rules
so
and
small.
regulations.
No, not even rules.
Yeah,
of course,
Oh yeah, because we don't put them
But our
on official
industry is
side.
so
Right?
small, yes.
You just put them on radio. Like that.
If you had a rich neighbor, a neighbor who very colorful or something.
Stuff you shoot that.
Hello, I pono kuya pola tandara wala kustara. Yeah. If you're going to build your house, if you're going to want to improve your house, what things are you going to do? You're going to do those things that yes. So this is the problem that we have not just in Zambia but Africa. That we have seen what sells. We have seen other people do these things. That what we want to do is to do exactly what those people have done, because that is what looks like it makes money.
So that's the problem, yeah.
So we skip and not learn our very own environment in terms of production, because we are thinking that we are not going to be able to sell, because even the people that we are making, for example, music for, when you meet them, they are listening to Beyonce, they are listening to Tupac, they are listening to international artists, they are listening to house music, they are listening to Nigerian music. So you will think to yourself, because those are your buyers as well, to say, maybe then if I tried to make music that sounds exactly like that, these guys are going to also listen to me. The problem is you create a standard for yourself that you can't meet. So for example, if you want to do rap and you want to rap in English, the standard that the local community is going to measure you by is by Tupac.
So are we saying it's an inferiority complex?
Here's what I think.
Yes, it's
I think
difficult
they have-
in a third world country.
I think they have a vision, but not the kind of vision that they should have to push their dreams. They have a vision to want to see themselves like that or sound like, but they don't have a vision of how they can then, get into the local scene, understand your market, and be a visionary. Like, even if it's locally, but our stand different, but the same level. I don't know if you guys understand.
No, we're getting it.
Absolutely good.
Create a sound, then push the sound out.
So basically, stand out. Be adventurous.
Yes.
Adventurous.
From-
Adventurous. let go of that inferiority complex to say, one, I'm Zambian, two, I'm African, three, I'm of this tribe or whatever. I think we are, yes, it's the inferiority complex, and it's like also not being proud of who we are as Zambians. What is stopping a said artist in Zambia, big artist, from having their music playing in the biggest club in Johannesburg? What is stopping us? Why do we not see ourselves there? What is difficult? Where is the problem?
The interesting word that you have mentioned in there is proud. Pride. You see, when you say the word proud, you need to be proud of who you are. The question is, who are you?
You and I.
So you see, this is what we were talking about. That things, yes, things just don't come from without. You have to create them. So even in the creative industry, creativity does not work by borrowing. Creativity is not borrowing. Creativity is engineering something using what is within your vicinity.
Because creativity at the end of the day is identifying a problem and coming up with a solution to that problem. That's creativity in essence. So if I think, in my country the problem is motivation to do certain things. If I am a musician, I believe that my form of expression should be a solution to answering the motivation problem. Maybe people will be motivated by hearing these words and according to this rhythm on this kind of count and so on and so forth.
You know what I like about the Zambian creative industry or the music industry is the amount of passion that it has. What it lacks is the skill.
And the resources.
No, the skill to do business.
Yes.
The passion is there. People are passionate about their creative arts. They are passionate about what they do, and that's the reason why, I look at the journey of Zambian music. It's only now that we are proud to listen to our own music, and it must be mentioned that we are proud to listen to our own music.
But in being proud, make the music accessible for everyone, not just on Boomplay.
It's business, guys. It's business.
It made business.
It's business.
So
Boomplay pays.
So now she's mentioned Boomplay, right? I had a conversation with our music manager at the office, and I was like, we shall not name them. But I was like, why is it? I think we were talking about Nike 2's album, and I was like, why is it that?
Okay.
Yeah, we're talking about music.
These are superstars.
Yes.
We talk about superstars without reservation. It's private individuals that you don't talk about. We are James Nani, James Chansa, James Mutale. Who is James Mutale, and why are you bringing James Mutale into the public? It's a crime. Yeah. So go on anyway.
Say it.
Okay,
but the album just dropped, and I asked, why is it just available on Boomplay? Why is it that? And I was focusing mainly on Zambian artists. I'm like, why are we rushing to Boomplay? What's there that's not on Spotify? That's not on Deezer? That's not on Apple? That's not on. And so we started doing a research, fast. The conversation. Not that they're not getting paid on Boomplay, they are, and the money obviously is not as much as Spotify or the other platforms. It's just that Boomplay is exclusively African.
Oh, really?
Yes. So listen, I just want to push my music on the continent first. Then the rest of y'all can,
I guess it's one thing that we actually also forget. That some things don't work by that kind of a design when you are an economy that is infant. You see what I mean, eh? For Jay-Z, for example, to create his own streaming service and have artists jump on that, these are already big artists that are going to cause a movement.
Yep,
That's right.
In our case, we don't necessarily have that quick jump capacity, because the person that you are targeting is also hungry and trying to get out there as soon and as quickly as possible, and not to enter through your channel to promote your business as well, for it to grow. So I have to wait for your business to grow for me to grow. You see what I mean? Therefore, I will have a preference to say I'm going to go on Spotify, because I want outreach. You know, I understand your business needs to be supported, but I am an hungry artist. Therefore, I do not have the capacity to jump. And you see, that's how it is. But everybody is trying to do business and also trying to push their business agenda. So you somehow must be smart in the way that you do business. And this is the skill that I was talking about. That it's not just knowing your art very well, it's knowing the other side of the art, which is selling it. And that's just where we lack. We talk about selfishness, it's just the lacking of business skills.
And even we were having this conversation earlier that is I don't know why I keep saying Sampa.
Another one.
I keep saying now Sampa. Sampa the Great. So if the resources that Sampa the Great has were pumped into Why Celeb, or just any other local artist, would there not be an international artist? Why Celeb? We're going to use Why Celeb.
I love that guy. I'm just saying.
Me, I think it's laziness. And I was telling these guys, I was like, listen, yes, you can pump that money, but it's one of those things where you can take someone out of the village, but you can't take the village out of them. Yes, I feel like it's that same thing. And I was talking about
I've only seen it happen in Nigerian movies, but continue.
being disciplined. You know, like being disciplined. No, that's why I said ngamba ko kukatenda na mesh tuntru fresh na mouse samba. Tabaka na msanga mao teo.
Mouse samba na.
Oh, somebody right.
I think you are encouraging your son to get into
the music industry.
You would drop a dumb album. No.
It will become no Wi-Fi. Has to be a comedian.
That's quick.
Stream it now.
You're using your bundle because there's no Wi-Fi.
Okay, so if so
but they're doing
Sampa the Great
and resources. You will still be bailing him out of Shani. So Nambayama resources, as we're just seeing, you know, the outside of things. We don't know if she has a team or it's just how disciplined. One.
Managers. Not those friends of yours. But I'm Sangwana. Oh yeah, boy, become my manager. Go to studio when I kalapansa tamba. When you're learning things, then wait, become my manager, boy.
First of all, I want to embarrass the Zambian artist. So we had a South African artist that came in, and they were trying to get a collabo. So now, the record company, the record label he was working with, it was actually two artists from two big record labels that wanted to do a feature with this guy. And then, with the chick sort of didn't, it was a male female. Chick sort of didn't happen. The guy made an effort, came through Shani with baddies and whatnot. And the other guy was like, okay, he's the one who wants a feature. The guy from SA, he's the one who wants a feature. So, what's your song about? Yeah, guys, 2 hours. Guys, baby,
a 3-minute song, 2 hours.
He couldn't come up with lyrics. He couldn't come up with nothing.
No,
there's that guy. Why is he going to come up with lyrics? Meanwhile, it's your song. So now what that guy started doing is, okay, sing, and then this guy told me, and then I'll translate in Zulu or whatever language. You understand? So now, the Zambian artist couldn't come up with lyrics. So the South African guy said, I'll translate what you're saying.
It was the Zambian guy's song?
Yes, he's only wanted the feature. So the guy, okay, what's your song about? Dololo. Okay. And here's what happened, because the guy was South African, he made with this new sound, there's what they call lock drum. So he did the lock drum, bruh.
Nothing.
Then say,
From the artist.
from the producer, the guy came, the African artist came with his producer and manager, and he did a lock drum. Shan't I hear that lock drum in the song? This is how this person just did. You know? I say shit. But in as much as it's blowing up here, it's making noise. The guy who's just here, by next door, now lock drum yands. Because that's how small our industry is, and it's lazy.
And not united, because if we were united, somebody would be like, "Oh,
yes,
your thing, this side."
And they are lazy. Okay, you want someone else to push you, but you can't. Okay, it's useless. Yes, to have a manager in Zambia. Pay someone. Say, listen, this is the same thing that Moto was talking about. Don't just pick someone and what I'm saying that. Have a manager over. And then what happens? Because no, you as an artist, you become a brand. And some of these brand association things, these people are online, social media, we're watching. But they're busy embarrassing themselves. We'll let you have 5 quarter show the next day. Quotation. Excuse me, you were at a 5 quarter show yesterday. Some things it's okay to say no. You know what I mean? Because you're what? You are a brand. You are a brand. Separate.
I think it's about branding.
I see that, guys. Getting into me,